Okay, we just started recording, so going back to the call to order, ground rules. In order to ensure that everyone is able to be heard, we ask that everyone please stay on mute unless you have been chosen to speak. We want to have limited background noise and chatter so that everyone can be heard.
I'm gonna have to log on myself for sure.
And if you're not able to, we will automatically mute you during the meeting. Please be respectful of one another. We will try our very best to be able to end on time. Sometimes though, we go through Q&A, and due to the amount of questions that come through, we may stay on a little bit longer than usual, and I apologize, but everyone's question is highly important. And lastly, any questions you have at all possible, can you please put it in the chat so that when the person who is speaking, once they are done, they will then be able to go and start answering your questions. If there's no further, if there is nothing additional to discuss, next slide. And in a few moments, we're going to have the sign-in sheet for everyone to sign in, to include the teachers and the PTA executive board. To go and push through just a little bit quicker, I am going to have the principal speak, and then we'll go back to introductions. Okay. All right, if you can go to his slide. Keep going. Okay, there we go. Mr. Hoogenboom, thank you so much. And I know your time as always is precious. So you have the floor.
Okay, well, thank you, and welcome everyone. I'm glad that many of you are able to make it. I don't have all that much to report, and that will leave some time for any questions that people might want to ask. The good news is throughout the city and the country, the Omicron variant seems to finally be burning itself out, and we are really back to a spot where very, very few people are testing positive. We've had a very good beginning. I'm afraid to say positive now, right? So I'll say we've had a good beginning to the school semester that started in February 2nd. And normally I hate the midwinter break because you just start the new semester and then all at once, you know, you're gaining momentum and then all at once you have a week off. But this year, I kind of like it because it seems like we're in a really good position, and having the week off will mentally prepare us for the spring, the positivity, you know, hoping there's not another variant down the road, but the positivity that we can have a semester that is more normal than anything we've experienced in 2 years. It's a little bit shocking to think that it is 23 and a half months since everything really hit in New York City back in March 2020. And it's been a very, very stressful time for all of us, and a tragic time for many of us. So I really like that we have the break and we can get going as soon as we come back on February 28th. Last night, we had our first in-person open school night for prospective 8th graders and their parents. There's a great showing. The PTA had a table, and I'm giving away some swag. And overall, it was a wonderful experience, I think, for the prospective parents. SAT Day is March 23rd. Now, just for programming purposes, excuse me, if your child is not taking the SAT, they will be remote that day because you just can't fit all the people who are taking the SAT, who have to be, you need teachers proctoring it. You can't have a normal school day for those not taking the SAT. So you'll be notified later to be specific as to who is taking the SAT. The top 100 ninth graders got a swag bag just the other day. And we're trying to celebrate all kinds of success with the school. Finally, I noticed one question in the chat about the courtroom. The courtroom is practically ready. The only thing that's missing right now is one or two cabinets that haven't yet fit in, but we're really in good shape as far as the courtroom goes. So that's pretty much it from me, even though if there are questions, Mrs. Attwood, you're monitoring the questions?
Yeah, yes, I am. So I have a question about college preparedness for 10th and 11th graders. And we have questions that were received via email before the meeting. So I'll start with the questions we got via email, and then I'll just go in order. So how active are our students in the community?
You mean in terms of community service?
Yes, I believe that's the question.
Okay.
Is there any program where our students are involved with the community?
We have a robust internship program that where students who are juniors go out and serve internships. As far as most community work, a lot of that has gone by the wayside. You know, for instance, there was this one organization that used to want to have 6 Lincoln students. Now, because of the pandemic, it was only 1 student. So a lot of our community. I'm sorry. Someone seems to be not on mute, but a lot of our community work has to be restarted as we get back up to speed, back up to our pre-pandemic speed. And I'll try to have a more detailed answer, because community service is so important in terms of preparing for college. On that note, I hope all parents are aware of what we are doing with our college coordinators. We're doing an absolutely great job in terms of college coordinators working very, very closely, with the 9th grade and the 10th grade. In the 10th grade, almost every 10th grade student is now on Naviance. And the positivity there is that instead of all at once thinking about college in the spring of your junior year, we're making sure that our students are thinking about it in the 9th and the 10th grade.
Thank you very much. So I think you answered the second question a bit with what kind of consistent community service is offered. I understand that with the pandemic, it just became sidelined. Is there any plans to restart something more robust?
Yes, definitely, and I'll get that information to the executive board of the PTA with well, tomorrow's the last day before vacation, but the very first week of March, the first week that we're back, I'll get that information so all parents are very much aware of what the opportunities are.
Thank you. How many students have received scholarships for college with the assistance of Abraham Lincoln High School?
Yeah, I saw that question in the chat, and I tried to delete it, but unfortunately I couldn't.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hoogenboom.
I have no idea, none at all. And I am sure, though, that Ms. Kelly in our college office is very much aware of, if she doesn't have that on the tip of her tongue, I know she knows where she can access that information. And that's information we can get to you tomorrow.
So maybe we'll get back to that question a little bit later in the meeting if Ms. Kelly shows up. Also, the last thing is, any update on the mock trial courtroom at Abraham Lincoln High School?
Yes, it's in great shape. As a matter of fact, we showed it off to the prospective. We showed it off to prospective 8th graders and their parents, and last night. And all it needs is there's one cabinet that didn't quite fit that has to be custom made, and there's a little bit of trim. but when you stick your head in there, it truly looks like a courtroom, and the law classes are all going to take place there.
Thank you. So someone in the chat said that I'm not sure if that's really the principal saying that Black History Month is American History Month, and some students were very offended. So that sounds like more like feedback, and I'm not sure what happened there. Is there something you're aware of that you want to address?
Yes, I very much do want to address that. I made an announcement commemorating Black History Month, and one of my points was that you can never talk about American history without talking about Black history. That the experience of people from Africa permeates our history, not just really, from 1619 on. You can't talk about industrialization without talking about the migration from of the 20s and the 30s of so many African Americans from the South to the North. Every political argument, many of the amendments to the Constitution of the 19th century, the 1800s, all it's just intertwined, and so it was exactly the opposite. I was saying that every month to study American history, every month really is Black History Month if you want to really look at the history of our nation. It is intertwined, and it is the entire country. One of the points I made was that we have to be reminded that that slavery occurred in every one of the 13 colonies. Another thing that we have to keep in mind was that in the North, during the Civil War, there was active anti-Black violence in New York City itself. And so that sort of simplicity, that it was a Southern thing and that Black Americans were only involved in agriculture in the South is just too simplistic. It permeates our history. That was a point I was trying to make. Sometimes announcements do get garbled. I just think it is so important when we think about American history that we understand it's not just whoever the prominent ethnic group might happen to be. It's an incredibly varied, detailed history, which the Black Americans, their experience. You cannot study American history without understanding the African American experience. That was what I was trying to convey in my announcement, and I'm sorry that that not only some people misunderstood, but were also offended. That, of course, was not the point. One thing that I was very proud of is that our Superintendent Prayer, did ask that some of our social studies teachers participate in a special commemoration, a special dedication ceremony that he was doing in the superintendency for Black History Month. So Abraham Lincoln High School had a real pride of place in the superintendent's celebration of Black History Month.
Thank you so much. I'm not sure if, did you hear that people were offended? Did students reach out
yes,
to you, or did parents reach out to you?
No, two teachers did come to me, and I shared with them my script because I felt they hadn't really heard the entire message, and one of them was quite bothered that I hadn't talked about the origins of Black History Month. You certainly can't talk about everything in a brief announcement. But the origins are fascinating, and February was chosen because of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, two absolute, 19th century giants. And I'm planning on doing an announcement about that on the last day of Black History Month, which will be Monday when we come back, to share with all the students the origins of Black History Month.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The next question is, as the monthly perfect attendance incentive started, and if yes, how is it going?
I don't know. This is when I wish Mr. Robinson was here. He cares so much about attendance that I kind of leave it to him. So we will get back to you about that, about the monthly attendance.
Thank you so much. And then, so finally, I think the last question for you was mine, which is there any plan to address college preparedness for 10th and 11th grader? I know the big focus is on 12th grade, and then you started a new program for 9th graders, so it starts from the beginning. But what about those orphaned 10th and 11th grader who have mostly spent their high school career at home? Like, is there a plan to kind of get them back on track or give them extra services to compensate?
I think you make a very good point. It's the experience, say, of an 11th grader when you're writing your college essay is, well, I hung out at home and I did my classes remotely. It's really kind of, it's what they have gone through. Well, all high school age students, elementary and middle school too, is almost unfathomable to think of their experience. We have college coordinators for the 10th grade, and we are also very much gearing up for the 11th grade for them to get ready for the crunch when you write your essays and stuff like that.
All right, and now I'm going to ask, there's two updates requests. One is about the awards board that are outdated, and the request is to please update with recent years. It's like the gold, silver awards board. And then the second one is, can the online school store be updated, because there's hardly anything in there. So those are more like requests. I don't know that you really have to answer that there. And then finally, the last question is one I know you cannot answer, which is, will the school offer the summer program like last year, the sports and the Get Ahead summer program?
Well, let me address both the honor board, which the way, are you saying that it has something from 2019 on it? Is that what the problem is? Or
I believe so. They're saying it's outdated. So I think they're talking about recent student achievement. So it might be the last couple of years.
Okay. Well, in that case, I am very, very embarrassed. A real problem with being in the building every day is everything starts to look normal, and obviously that's a complete oversight. And students have been back in the building full time since September, pretty much so. So yes, those will be totally updated. And it seems to me that the online store is the very, very same point. Is let's get it updated, let's get new stuff. I will look into that right now. As for summer school, the DOE makes decisions as to what they're going to push for the summer. And last summer we were really very fortunate in that the whole idea of that there had been real deprivation and they should go all in with a rich summer school experience was very, very present. I think it will be again. I don't see, with this topsy-turvy year, it seems to me incredibly important that summer school encompass both sports, activities, and academics, that our students need as much, stimulation, physical, mental, emotional stimulation as possible. And I will certainly be advocating for that with the superintendency.
Thank you very much. So I just want to say to everyone, when we don't have the answer, I know Mr. Hoogenboom will update us and give us the answer, and then we'll put it in the minutes as we post them on the website. So, all questions will eventually be answered, even if we don't have the answer right now. And I want to say we should probably move on. Like, there's just, most of the questions have been answered. We can go back to anything. If you have more questions, please post them in the chat.
Okay, if
Ms.
I could
Scott?
just add,
Yes,
could I
of
just
course.
add before we go on, number one, when I don't know all the answers, please understand that this, we are a large school. And one of the great things about Lincoln is the extraordinary job that so many people do. So the perfect example is like the attendance question. Mr. Robinson does such a great job with attendance that it's not on the front of my plate. And similarly, I try to get the answers to people, as quick as possible, because it is important that you all know the answers. And for that, I'm very, very grateful to the PTA and to the school leadership team, because you bring things to my attention. I was certainly not aware about the boards. I was not aware about the online store, and I really, really appreciate these hard questions and these things that you notice, because that helps make the school better. I see the PTA as a group of critical friends, and both those words are incredibly important. You care about Lincoln, but you also are critical and want it to be better. So thank you.
Thank you,
very
Mr.
much.
Hoogenboom. I appreciate your time as always, and I look forward to seeing you next month, if not sooner. So you have a great night. Any other questions that we collect, if the team that is on isn't able to answer them, you'll definitely be hearing from me. And do I understand that we'll be getting a Lincoln log by the end of the month?
Yes. For those who don't know, the Lincoln log is my newsletter to parents. I haven't been doing a very good job this year, and Mrs. Scott, as an excellent mother, is nagging me in a very kind way to do my homework, which happens to be to do the Lincoln log. So yes, I will do it during the vacation.
I look forward to it. My birthday's on the 28th, so that's the last day I want a present, and that'll be Lincoln log.
Okay, that sounds like a wonderful plan.
Okay, you have a great night.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're gonna quickly go to introductions. Because it's being recording, I'm just going to go and stick to the executive board, SLT, and of course, any teachers that are on. For any others, again, because we're recording, I'll limit it to just the team. Executive board, it's myself, and unfortunately, Mr. Jones wasn't able to attend this evening, but he and myself are the co-chair PTA presidents. My son is in the 11th grade, and his child is in the 10th grade. Ms. Brown, unfortunately, she is busy as well at the moment, and she apologizes that she will not be able to speak at the moment. Her child is actually a senior, and she is the vice president. We have our co-chair treasurer team, Mr. Sandor, Ms. Attwood. Okay, they're waving.
I guess I'll speak very briefly. I'm co-treasurer along with Mr. Sandor. My child is in the 11th grade, and I guess Ms. Sandor, you're next.
Hi, I'm Maggie Sandor. I'm the recording secretary, and our son is in the 10th grade. Miss Hawley?
Yeah, I'm Miss Holly. I'm the corresponding secretary, and my daughter is in the 9th grade.
Okay, with that said, half of the SL team is also part of the executive board, which is myself, Mr. Jones, Miss Brown, and Miss Attwood. Miss Jones, I believe, is unable to speak at the moment. And then we also have Miss Alston, who I don't believe was able to come on tonight. I apologize, but that is our team. And we also have our Title I team, which is Miss Samantha Filbert and Miss Lakia Jones. Everyone has multiple jobs and works very hard on trying to assist, as Mr. Hoogenboom has stated. It's an easy job, but very tedious jobs that each one of us have. So I thank you all for allowing us to be on these teams. And I'm moving on to the next slide. Reading of the minutes, please.
Hi, this is Maggie Sandor. I'll just go through the key points of the minutes from the January meeting. I'm going to remind everyone that our minutes are posted on the parent PTA section of the school website if you want the full text. At our January meeting on January 17th, we introduced Miss Lena Jabril, who is our new parent coordinator. She told us a little bit about her goals for the year. We had the treasurer's report, which showed a starting balance of $1,090.99, an ending balance of $1,091.40. And the PTA's mid-year interim financial report was also presented, which is a requirement of the Chancellor's regulations. We had some questions about the proceeds from the chocolate sale and when they would be received, as well as how our online donation system works, which is Cheddar Up, and how long donations take to go through Cheddar Up and be received in the bank account. There was talk about the goals and fundraising goals, as well as whether we could compare one year to the next in terms of goals and fundraising achievements, and a minimum amount of monthly dues, which is about $5 per month or $50 for the year to buy out. We talked about the different ways that we had contributed to the school over the past year. We had the secretary's report, and Ms. Hawley went through the bylaw committee, and we had several people volunteer to serve on that committee, and that she would be getting started for the bylaw update. There was a fundraising report from Mr. Sandor, which talked about the ongoing New York City vaccine referral bonus program, and that it had not yet been extended, and the payments had not yet been received. Mr. O'Connor, the AP of Safety and Security, gave a briefing on updated COVID protocols, as well as handled questions about vaccine status and where to report negative results, as well as an update on the racist leaflet incident that took place in December, and signing up for a COVID-19 testing consent. We had an update from the attendance committee and the initiatives that we're partnering with the school. We allocated $200, pardon me, to support the school's giveaways to encourage increased attendance. We talked about the Title I committee survey results, and that they would host the trivia night in January with a second workshop topic to come. The Title I committee did discuss sending out the survey again to determine additional topics later in the year. The Teachers Corner had Mr. Molina and Mr. Capizzo. Mr. Molina discussed the student activities and the plans and logistics for some of the events in June, graduation, prom, and a spring senior trip. There were some questions. Ms. Meadows asked about the photography program and working as a fundraiser. Mr. Capizzo went through the calendar and what's happening in the next few weeks, talked about the People Path glitch and report cards and MetroCard distribution for the new semester, as well as tutoring programs starting up for the regents, which are supposed to be starting in the first week of March. There was discussion about the school store and where it delivers, the New York Schools account, And then we talked about the nominating committee and had a call for volunteers. We then concluded by going through the contact tree, the DOE and school calendar, and discussed the next meeting, which is tonight. These were the key points of the January minutes. Can I motion myself to have these minutes be approved, or does someone else need to do that?
I think it's someone else, but I will do it. I
Okay,
motion for the minutes to be approved.
And
If
who is
someone wants to
speaking?
second, that's Marie-Helene Attwood,
Thank
Miss
you.
Attwood.
okay, does somebody second that?
Yes, somebody in
Someone on
chat
the
did
chat just
second.
did.
Okay,
Wonderful.
Michelle Loutin.
wonderful, thank you. And reminder that the full text of the minutes is available on the school website.
Skip that for a quick moment, unless I
I'm ready.
have Miss Tiffany that can speak on this. Miss Tiffany.
I'm ready.
Ms.
Hello?
Brown is
Can you hear
on.
me?
Ms. Brown says she's ready. She's on.
Excellent. Okay, thank you, Miss Brown.
I can't see it. I'm sorry. Someone just called me. You can hear me, right? I have a face mask on. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ms. Brown. I'm the vice president of the PTA. My son's in the 12th grade. I missed that portion. And we're having a Valentine's Day giveaway with, well, you're here to attend also and learning all this information, a Valentine's Day giveaway with Abraham Lincoln High School PTA. What we did was, I had the pleasure of working very closely with Miss Tiffany Malcousu. Am I saying it right? Malcousu, right?
Yes, you're fine.
Thank you. And
Okay.
right, she gave me great ideas, and we decided to have a mystery Valentine's PTA giveaway. So what we're doing is we're raffling, well, not raffling, I'm sorry, we're having a giveaway. So each parent will be assigned, has been assigned a number. I took your name from the you know, everyone that's attending, and assigned you with a number. And if you guys can just click the button to show all the giveaways. So they're all mysteries. Then you'll have a mystery box. There's a mystery gift card. This mystery gift cards, that says one. There's a mystery basket, and there's a mystery bag. You want to finish the slide, please?
Mr. Sander?
I want to make sure I got that right. I think he has to just keep clicking the button.
He has a technical glitch. Just give him a moment.
I have are we ready for the click wheel?
Yeah.
Well, no, she wanted you to show the pictures.
This is. What was in here? I don't think.
The slide is not, well, either way, I just told you,
Yeah.
you know, not to hold everything up. I just told the families what the, with you know, what it is. They're all mystery gifts. So, do you want me, Ms. Scott, to share the names now and the numbers just verbally so each parent can know, and then give
Miss
Ms.
Hawley actually has that information.
Okay.
So, Ms. Hawley, can you please share that?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Sure. I just worked off the list Miss Brown sent me and then added the few people who signed in after that to the bottom. So we have Miss DeCoteay is 51. Miss Barrett is 52. Miss Meadows is 53. Miss Wellington is 54. Let's see, Mr. Capizzo is 55. Miss Gomes is 56. Miss Loutin is 57. Miss Marcellus is 58. Miss Nesmith is 59. Miss Nestor is 60. Miss Stanley is 61. Miss Malcousu is 62. Miss Sutton is 63. Miss Brown is 64. Miss Chen, sorry, what?
I'm sorry, which Brown? I've
Oh, Trinice, oh, I'm sorry, Trudy Brown,
Brown is 63. Okay.
64.
64, sorry.
That's okay. Miss Chen is 65. Miss Campbell is 66. Miss Filbert is 68.
A Campbell or S Campbell?
Oh, S Campbell.
S Campbell is 66. 66, okay, S Campbell.
So then Miss Filbert is 67. Miss Jones is 68. And Miss Dewar is 69. I'm not sure. Oh.
You have to remove, and I apologize, 55, Mr. Capizzo, because he is a teacher.
Oh, okay.
And if you're referencing Miss Lakia Jones, she's on the SLT, she has to be removed as well.
Okay, yep, sorry.
No, you're doing great. I apologize. This was a last minute thing, so I appreciate you for stepping in.
So she can be removed. And then I'm not sure if anybody's logged in since I did that. So if there's any parent who didn't get a number, let me know in the chat. But I think I got everybody.
Oh, Miss Tiffany has to be removed as well.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
like I said, I do have a list of everyone who is registered, and I have the people who I did not hear, I will take off from the list.
Okay.
And have the list here. Can you repeat that? Just go down the list one more time really quickly, just so I make sure I have everyone. Make sure that the clicker wheel is active.
Okay. So Miss DeCoteay, 51. Miss Barrett, 52. Miss Meadows, 53. Miss Wellington, 54. Miss Gomes, 55. Miss Marcellus, 56. Miss Nesmith, 57. Miss Nestor, 58. Miss Stanley, 59. Miss Sutton, 60. Miss Brown, 61. Miss Chen, 62. Miss S. Campbell, 63. Miss Filbert, 64.
No, I'm sorry, you renumbered the numbers? Oh, shoot.
Oh, well, because I had to remove people. Sorry, I had it on a list. So when I took them out, I think it redid the number.
And Miss Filbert has to be removed as well. She's on the SLT team.
Of course. Sorry, I apologize to all the participants here.
Here, I'll just text you.
Thank you.
Should I just send you in the chat what I have?
Beautiful.
And you can match it up.
If you send it to me in the chat.
Make it available to everyone so that they can all see.
Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I just want to
I
make sure.
apologize for the delay, everyone.
No, of course.
I just want to make sure I took out everyone I was supposed
Thank you.
to.
And we include everyone who is eligible, of course.
Okay.
Beautiful.
That's
Thank
what
you so
I
much.
have. Yep.
Excuse me, Miss Scott.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to point out, someone in the chat said the sign-in link did not work. I was able to click it and get through, but I just copied it again, just in case. Maybe they could try that link.
Oh, I was doing the same thing. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, we
thank
both
you.
did the longer version.
looking to get on the list here. Okay.
And don't forget that first one is 51.
Yes, that's correct.
It looks like I missed Miss Loutin. Tom.
Yep.
So maybe you could
64 is
make her
missing.
64 since I accidentally skipped that number.
So anyone's name that has not been announced, please annotate it in the chat.
Yep.
Oh,
Excellent. All right, awesome job. Thank you. So we're gonna, one more time, don't worry, Miss Hawley, you don't have to say the names again. If you could
Thank you.
just review the names 52 to 65. If there's anyone missing, please say so now. All right, let it roll. Yep.
It's just taking me a little bit longer than I expected. I apologize. All right. Because then it's coming through without the numbers, and I want to make sure the numbers are here. So, because otherwise, then I want to make sure we do this exactly the right way.
In the meantime, I'll just announce I did put,
You could keep going. Yeah.
I did put some pictures of the baskets in the chat if you want to take a look at those.
Right. Well, that's being done. I actually have some information that Miss Jabril has shared with us. If I can pop it back up, there it goes. Ms. Jabril, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can you go and talk about, hopefully everyone, can you see my screen where it talks about futures and options of urban leadership fellows?
I can see it.
Okay, Ms. Jabril, can you speak on this?
Okay, so this is a paid summer internship, but this is for seniors only. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Just let me know when you want me to slide down.
Okay. So this will teach them about, finances, business, law, government, public speaking, policies. They offer 35 hours work weeks and it's a 6-week paid internship. And it's gonna have a few afternoons in June. The GPA must be 3.0 or higher. Students should have excellent work, computer skills, well-written personal essay, and they should have a strong verbal and written English skills. Applications must be submitted by March 4. They can contact the college office, which is Miss Kelly, the college office coordinator. And students can stop by room 226 if they have any other questions. Next slide.
Hold on. Sorry, I was using the mouse. It went too far. Next slide discusses, I guess, what the mission and the impact is.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, their mission, their program started, it's a ULFP program. It's a 6-week funded summer externship program for graduating seniors from high schools who have interest in either finance, government, or public policy or law. The externship, like I said, is 35 hours per week as an extern. And then they have compensation. Participant will receive $4,000 once they complete the program. They offer scholarships, $500 for book grants at closing luncheon, and then they also offer alimony for programs who are eligible for annual scholarship, which is $2,000, subjected to meeting a certain GPA. They also have externship partners. And They have, what is that? I'm sorry. And their impact, they have 108 students who completed the program, and they've paid 1,760,000. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous.
No, you're doing great.
Sorry. 1,176,750 college scholarships have been awarded since the program started. Applications must be submitted by March 4, 2022. Applicants must have, like we said, 3.0 GPA. They may need to be interviewed, and candidates who are accepted in the program will be notified by the end of April. And if you want, I can post the information on the newsletter on where to apply and who to contact. And they can also go to room 226 or speak to Miss Kelly. This is only for seniors.
The next one is the summer jobs.
Yes, so this is a job fair. This is a summer program. It's for kids who are 15, who are in between the ages 15 to 21 years old. It's a CIT, counselor in training program, 15 years, or kids who are entering into the 10th grade. Those summer jobs are, you would have to go to the job fair, it would be held. It would be just like yesterday's open school. We missed the first one, which was on February 12th. They have a second one on February 22nd. It would be between, hold on. Oh, I think it's the same time. I don't have the
12 to
time
4.
for the 22nd. Yeah. So it's 12 to 4. And the address would be in the back. Hold on. In the next slide. It would be 3495 Nostrand Avenue. No, so it would be 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the 22nd. And I could also post this information on the newsletter for anyone who is interested, because this is for all the students in the high school, anyone who's above the age of 15. So it would be 3495 Nostrand Avenue on February 22nd. That would fall on a Tuesday, and it would be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And if they want more information, students can stop by room 226.
Miss Sandor, for which one are you talking about? The senior one or the general one?
For the counselor in training, I just can't read the organization.
Hold on. I keep moving it. Sorry. There we go.
Does that say JCC? I can't read that. Is that JCC?
It
Yeah,
seems to say
JCC and-
JCC Brooklyn Summer Camp. That was on the 12th. The one on the 22nd is for the KBY Summer Day Camp. But they are stating you must register. You can't, it seems like you can't just show up.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Sandor, are you ready? Thank
But
you.
however, I'm sorry, they say you don't have to stay the whole time. So you can just come, pass by, give them the resume, and you can just leave. So you don't have to stay from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Awesome. Mr. Brill, thank you very much. I will be referring back to you again in the future, in the next couple of slides. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you.
Great. So I think after a little bit of technical issues, we have all participants here, including the corrections for numbers 64 and 65. So I believe any objections to the list, which is exactly as posted in the chat with 64 and 65. Any objections? Otherwise, I will be ready to spin the wheel. Hearing none? All right, here we go. And Ms. Brown, which is this spin for again?
Is Miss Brown on?
I just want to make sure that we have for the record which spin this is for.
I'm on. We could do it for the first picture that was posted. I believe it may have been the gift cards.
Okay. All right, sounds great. Here we go. Ready? Number 63, Campbell. Congratulations. Great.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sandor. I think we've lost audio.
What's that?
There we go.
Better.
Can we do one more?
Absolutely, yes.
Because of timing, and
course.
that everyone's been waiting. Just you need to
Yes.
remove Miss Campbell.
Of course.
Please note that these gifts will be waiting at the school. We will be contacting you tomorrow morning along with Mr. Brill and Mr. Robinson, who will be on the CC line so that you can coordinate whether you can come or have your child pick up the gifts for you.
Ready for the second spin? Minus number 63. All right, here we go.
Wonderful. Miss Meadows for the second basket.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Please announce what the second
Thank
basket is.
you.
Sure, I'll announce. It's the men gift set from Bath and Body Works. You have lotion, body spray, hand sanitizer. That will be the second prize.
Thank you so much. And I'm just writing this down. Okay, so we're gonna move on. We'll do the next two in a couple of slides. So hang in there, don't go anywhere yet.
All done with this section?
Yes, please.
All right, okay, great. On to the treasurer's report. We had a very good month for donations as well as fundraising. We have received through Cheddar Up contributions totaling $100. Thank you to all the donors. We do appreciate it. We will have the link, and I believe a later slide as well. As we talked about in past, the world's finest chocolate fundraiser has concluded for the time being. We did receive a check for $306.32, and we are working with the vendor. There was some issue with the check and it had to be resent, but we did receive, like I said, payment for $306.32. So our ending balance as of January 31st, a very healthy $1,497.72. As we talked about previously, the vaccine bonus program that we have participated in since late last fall has officially concluded. It ended at the end of January, and we have not yet received updates on payment, and we have not yet received payments for vaccine bonus. So I don't want to promise funds that are not in our bank account just yet. But again, I'm very happy to report that World's Finest Chocolate did send us a check for $306.32. So that is the treasurer's report for January 2022. Oh, and we did receive 41 cents in interest too, by the way. So very, very low, but you know,
Do we have the report on the slide deck?
Yes. Is the report sharing on the screen right now?
No, we're still seeing the picker wheel with Ms.
Oh dear, I'm
Meadows.
sorry. I'm very sorry. All right, sorry about that. Let me just switch that. I apologize. All right. I see it on my screen, but clearly not anybody else. So, okay, there we go. All right. There we go. Okay, sorry. Can everyone see that
Perfect.
now?
Thank you.
Thank you for pointing that
Yes,
out.
yes, it's perfect.
Good. So anyway, just to really very quickly reiterate, so 41 cents in interest, $100 in donations through ChatterUp, which is our online giving platform, and $306.32. So we went from $1,090.99 to a very healthy $1,497.72. So questions about the treasurer's report from January?
I just wanted to let everyone know that Ms. Sandor has posted the ChatterUp link in the chat.
Yes.
So people can give donations. $5 is encouraged. $50 if you want to buy the whole year. Any amount really was appreciated. We rely on you to be able to support all of the school's initiatives, you know, rewarding attendance and giving awards at the end of the year. So if you can click on the link and donate, we very much appreciate it. Thank you.
I should also note that we do have 2 reimbursements outstanding for previous initiatives. We did, as people who have participated in these meetings before know, we did purchase food for the food bank and also for other school-sponsored events. We do have 2 reimbursement checks that are outstanding and are not reflected in this financial statement at this point, but they are in the works. So, right. Anything else? Any other questions?
All right, excellent. Thank you so much for the treasurer's report. Moving on. Attendance committee update.
Mm-hmm. So the attendance committee, that's myself as well. Oh, I'm sorry, the secretary.
Oh, I'm sorry, secretary report.
Pardon me.
Ms. Hawley.
Yes, so the bylaw committee met last week and we made good progress. We got through all the changes. Unfortunately, I've been a little busy, so I haven't been able to pull the final document together, but I'm almost done with that and hopefully we'll get it out by this weekend so the committee can look it over and make sure I recorded all of our changes. And then I'll be sending that to the executive board for approval. So we're on track to go over the finished changes at the March meeting. And I believe we have to vote on them to accept them, but it's going well. So thank you again to the committee members. It's a good meeting and that's about it.
Awesome, John. I've heard wonderful things. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Moving on to the next slide. Next slide.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Before you go to the fundraising committee, only because it does have to do with finance, can you please reiterate the question and the answer in reference to the balance?
Again?
Are you able to view the chat?
No.
I can read it if you want, Ms.
Okay,
Scott.
could you please read it? Yes.
Of course, of course. So there's a question from someone who's new to the school.
Mhm.
Is the balance usually around this amount? It is a bit low, but I understand due to the economy that we're in today.
Yep.
And I answered, it's about as low as we'd like to keep it. Hopefully the efforts we made with the vaccine outreach will replenish our funds. But, you know, of course, we encourage everyone to donate. Would you like to add something, Mr. Sandor?
Sure. Yeah, it's a great question. And, obviously the PTA and the funds that we have access to are really here for the students. And we do try not to just accumulate piles of money just to have, but really to use those funds as well. We did talk about, food baskets. There was a contribution to a food pantry that was matching the school's contribution as well. That having been said, yes, the last 2 years, of course, have been a little difficult without in-person meetings. It's a little bit harder to have contributions from parents as well. So we do have to rely on an electronic or an online payment. This past year, we did use or establish CheddarUp to collect donations as well. Yes, I mean, we would like to increase the balance as well. And we're working on different fundraising. Again, World's Finest, the vaccine bonus, and there are a few other things as well that we're working on to help raise some money. And so, yeah, so we would like to see the PTA balance a little higher than it is now. So, yeah. Definitely.
We'll take one more question. We do have a hand raised. Ms. Tiffany?
Hi, thank you. It did come up last month about the balance, and I really did appreciate the response. And there were things that we discussed about trying to set goals, but I'm confident like the fundraising committee and these different committees that we're about to hopefully create would help in that regard of increasing the funds that are generated.
I agree with you as well. I know we're trying to get additional people to volunteer for fundraising committees as well. So it's not just the same, one person or a small number of people. So again, do want to ask if anyone else has interest in helping out with fundraising. More than welcome. We really do appreciate all the assistance, even if it's just contributing ideas or things like that. So yeah, definitely the more hands, the more volunteers, the better.
Okay. Thank you very much. I believe you already referenced the referral bonus, which we haven't gotten any funds for it yet, so you can move on.
Okay.
The attendance extravaganza, would you like to speak on that?
Sure, I can do that. So I'm Mr. Jones, and I represent the PTA on the Lincoln Attendance Committee. We talked, I know Mr. Robinson is not here at the moment, so I'll try to do the best I can to summarize the meeting. We meet monthly, both with Mr. Robinson and faculty, staff, and the PTA as well. So as we talked about in the last meeting, the school is has looked to move away from a large attendance extravaganza to a number of smaller events monthly. And they are looking to do a monthly event towards the end of February, and then again, March, April, and May. So the PTA has been working with Mr. Robinson on that. They're looking at wristbands and a bunch of other kind of interesting things as well. So we're basically, like I said, we're committed to helping the school not only increase attendance, because of course, the more students are in school, the more they'll learn, the better they'll perform, and the school community will be better off. So we have, oh, that's right. The slide says we have about $200 allocated to this event. And if it turns out that the extravaganza is even more extravagant or successful, we'll definitely look to support it further. So like I said, we are at this point just waiting for some specifics from the school about what specifically or what the details of what they're looking for, and we are ready to go and help them out.
Awesome. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, do we have anyone from my Title I team? No, unfortunately not. Mr. Brill, do you have?
Ms. Jones?
Oh, Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Hi.
Good evening.
Yes.
Hi.
Good evening. Please go right ahead.
Yeah, so me, Miss Samantha Hilbert, and Miss Jivio are working together to bring another exciting training for parents next month. I'm sorry, hold on. And it's going to be about financial literacy. So we've been meeting and talking and via email, also over the phone, to finalize everything. And so hopefully next month, there will be a presentation offered towards families about different financial plans for children and also adults.
Excellent. I know that we sent out another link for everyone to, on Facebook, to sign up for any additional training.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know
Yes.
if numbers went up on that?
So it's the numbers is still, parents are interested in financial literacy. So trivia night was first, and then financial literacy was second. And it's still in that same category. Don't know, that's too much pink.
Excellent, thank you. Do you need us to go and post it again, or you think you're good for this year?
For this year, right now, we should be good, yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your team's support on this. I know it's been kind of hard since you guys can't meet in person, so I appreciate the time you've done on this.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next slide. All right, we'll do one for this one, just the one. Not ready for everyone to drop off yet.
And so what is this particular giveaway?
This giveaway will be the mystery basket.
Excellent. All right. Any other changes? I think we're all set with the list. Our two previous winners have been removed, and here we go. Congratulations, number 60, Sutton.
Congratulations, Miss Sutton.
Excellent. All right, congratulations on the mystery basket. Now I'm dying to find out what's in there. All right, so we're going to move on to the next slide. Again, congratulations to our 3 winners so far. 4th winner. That's going to be an interesting one, so you just got to hang on a little bit longer. All right, if you can show the slides, please. So far, if I recall correctly, we have 63, which was Miss Campbell, and she won the Victoria's Secret gift cards. And then we had Miss Meadows. She won, I feel like I'm gonna mess this up, Bath and Body.
Yes, the men's gift set for Bath and Body.
Excellent. And then Miss Sutton won the mystery basket. Excellent. All right, so we got one more. Everyone hang in there. Next slide. Next slide. All right, some new business. We really don't have any new business except I just want to say to our, I believe I call them the gift basket liaisons. I want to thank you very much. You guys put a lot of effort and time into creating these giveaways, and I appreciate it. I also want to thank tremendous time to the bylaws committee. I was not able to partake in that meeting or listen in, but I heard that you guys powered through a lot of information. So I thank both teams on a job well done this month. All right, next slide.
Thank you. Did we skip past the teacher's corner? Not sure if we did.
No, that's not yet.
Not yet. Okay, got it.
Yep, keep going.
All right. Here we go.
Keep going. Oh, nominating committee. Anybody wants to talk about the nominating committee? Okay, I will take that. So the nominating committee, I can't partake in this nominating committee, but I can speak about it. Basically in March, during the general meeting, as well as into a good portion of April, we asked for the nominating committee to come together and kind of reach out to parents, ask around if they're interested to go and take on the executive board meetings, because everyone that's currently on the executive board is only good for 1 year. And with that, they then have to go and transfer out, be released of their positioning at the end of the school year. And the new team will then step in the very next day, which is July 1st. So the current team stays on till the end of June, and the new team steps in on the 1st of July. With that, we have 2 months where we have to go and gather information to transfer over. But before that, the nominating committee takes that time to go and survey, see who really wants to partake, make sure people understand what's going on and how certain positions are, because some people may not be clear in understanding, such as there's at least 2 positions that have to go and be part of this signatory, that have to sign off on checks. Well, actually 3. And those 3 will have to share personal information with the bank in order to be part of that. If they're not able to, then you won't be able to be part of the executive board. That is one key thing that we found out, well, I found out the hard way a couple of years ago when I first came on, that I had to provide some personal information. So if you're not comfortable sharing your Social Security and some additional information, you may not want to partake in being part of the executive board. But the nominating committee explains all that information to ensure everyone that is interested is not only eligible, but understands what they're stepping into. Anybody have any questions or concerns? Would like to step in as a nominating committee? The only people who cannot partake is, of course, the current president, the current 2 presidents, the co-chair presidents, as well as anyone on the executive board who is looking to put the name in.
And for the record, also, when we talk about personal information, I mean, there are, of course, all the safeguards. Banks are not going to post your information all over the place. So please, there are. Speaking as one of the co-treasurers, it's very, very secure, and I don't think there's really any reason to be concerned about personal information. It's simply used for tax purposes and things like that. So that's fine.
Thank you for the clarity. If you still want time to think about it and not sure, please email us. We really need and would really appreciate having a nominating committee. I mean, we ourselves go around and kind of ask if anybody's interested, but to actually have a committee, it would really look good on the school, on the PTA, if we could have an official nominating committee of at least 2 to 3 people. It's not a showstopper. It's just something that is good to have. All right, moving on. And this is the executive board elections. We will be having it on May 19th. Usually I try to have it in April, but because of the bylaws, I want time in case there is a snag or someone has some questions or concerns and want to push it to the following month to review the bylaws. I wanted to give that a bumper. Another reason why I have it so early and not in June is that because of us having to meet in person, whether to go and transfer over documentation or to be able to go to the bank, I need to have at least a 5 to 6 week window to be able to complete that transfer. So that's why we have it in May, which to some people is a bit early. I would much prefer an April bumper, but May 19th, I think is good enough. So we will have 2 co-chair presidents, 1 vice president, 2 co-chair treasurers, a recording secretary, and a corresponding secretary.
Is it possible for the, I'm sorry, I have a question. I
No,
didn't-
please go ahead.
Is it possible to have these roles, the descriptions available prior to this date?
Oh, yes. One we posted on Facebook, and we also send it out to via email prior to. If you like, we can go and make sure that we put it out at the next blast that we have out. That comes from the PTA usually, and not from the school, because it is a PTA event. They will provide the election information as we get closer.
I just want to say too, it's all spelled out in the bylaws. So you can click on the bylaws from the website, and all the rules are spelled out there, what you have to do.
And when you say website, you are referring to the
Sorry, the
Abraham
Abraham Lincoln.
parent link
Yep,
portal, excuse me.
yep, the PTA section of that website.
I'll work on posting that in the chat as in a few moments. All right, next slide. Next slide. No, we're gonna wait on that one. Keep going. Hold on one second. Ms. Meadows, can you please clarify your question as to staying on the board?
So my question was, good afternoon.
Hi.
So like those that, besides Ms. Brown, everyone has students, children that are still gonna be students there at Lincoln next year. I think she's the only senior parent, right? So can any, like you're the president, would you be able to go for a vice president and stay on?
Yes, it all depends on who, either I can go and nominate myself, which I never do, or someone else can nominate the someone for that position. So just so you're aware, when we do, and I'm glad you brought that up, when we do the elections, we, the PTA executive board, do not run it. We actually have someone from the school-based liaison, which is usually Mr. Anthony Aguilera. He is a alumni of Abraham Lincoln High School by pure coincidence. And he will run the election board for us, or someone from his team, which has therefore no affiliation with the PTA nor with the school, because they can't even be involved. And he will run the election board going from top to bottom, co-chair presidents, then vice president, et cetera, et cetera. And with that said, he will then go on and ask, does anybody want to nominate themselves, or does someone want to nominate people for that position? You are correct. The only ones who can't continue on would be the parents who are current seniors, unless by some unforsaken reason their child gets left behind for another year, which we do not want to have happen. As much as I want Ms. Brown to stay, I do not want that to happen to her child. But yeah, she unfortunately will have to step down. Everyone else, if we get nominated to stay on, we will definitely stay on. There's also the SLT section that also gets voted on. There's only, I think there's 5 positions. Only one is held right off the bat for the president. And then after that, you have 4 other positions. So if you don't get onto the executive board, you'll get onto the SLT board, which I find is a little bit more fun, because you get to go and discuss everything directly with the school, and you have the principal's ear.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Did we miss the teacher's corner?
That's that question, and I think you said no, but I can.
I think we did. Okay, you know what? With the helpful links, can we please then go to Teacher Corner? Mr. Capizzo, if you're still on, I apologize.
See if I can find it here. Hang on.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Hello,
Sorry
everyone.
that it took so long.
It's okay. I had a feeling I'd be the last 30 minutes. It's all good. Hi, everyone.
One question
My name
did
is
come
Mr.
up. I don't know if you saw a while back about advisory class. I don't know if that question was answered. If you could please elaborate on that.
Yeah, sure. So advisory. So when we were in person, many 2 years ago, there was advisory that had started in 9th grade and had trickled over into 10th grade. Advisory was really the focus on reaching out to our students who were really pretty much our zoned kids. And what has happened with the advisory now is that our advisory was focusing with those specific kids because the reasoning behind why we focused on those kids were because they were the ones that had like the highest dropout rates in our school system. So we started the advisory program with them. And then this year's incoming 9th grade class, we had over 30% of our incoming class was zoned kids. So what they decided to do this year was the 9th grade cohort. We had a group of kids that are part of something called Lincoln Crew, which is a separate course that focuses on, focuses on curriculum, health, and focuses on mental health, focuses on, how you're going to succeed in school. And it's really focused and tailored to the zoned kids. We haven't really we've tried to figure out how to do advisory across the board, but this is definitely going to be something that, I can bring up with Mr. Robinson to talk about possibly doing, not this year, but maybe at some point having advisory in all grades. Then just to give you a little heads up on what's going on, as everyone knows, I'm sure parents are seeing it soon. We're going to be going on winter break. So winter break will be next week. We'll be on break from the 21st to 25th. And then comes what I like to call the long stretch. The long stretch is the spring semester pretty much. So we go from February 28th all the way until April 14th. A nice 7-week long journey with our lovely class. So that'll be perfect for all of us. And of course, during that time, there's a lot that's going on. So I wanted to give parents a heads up. So the first marking period, for some reason, if anyone knew this or not, we're already, let's see, 4, 5, 10, we're already 14 days into the first marking period, surprisingly. The first marking period is going to end on March 11th. Okay, the first market period ends March 11th. And then parent-teacher conference is literally the next week. It'll be March 17th and March 18th. So it's going to be very quick. So want to give everyone like the quick heads up about that the turnaround is very fast. So we literally were here, now we're on break, and then the semester is going to end quick. So that's first. Parent-teacher conference, it will be virtual. There's been no guidance on in person yet. I believe that is still virtual. Haven't heard any follow-up with that, just reading the chat. Also, I wanted to give everyone a heads up that we have seen concerns from PTA that has been addressed, and also from parents, that teachers haven't been notifying parents enough about what has been you know, if their child is failing, or, you know, what they need to do to fix their grades. So what Lincoln has decided to do is added in specific days. These are deadlines that teachers have to notify parents 2 weeks out before the marking period ends. These dates are called course concern parent notification. So these are 2 weeks to the end of the marking period is when parents are going to be notified if their child needs to like do any sort of fixings with their grades or all that stuff. So because the first official date will be November, it is going to be April 1st. So they're going to be notified. They're going to be called from Pupil Path because we have their numbers. So that's how they'll be notified. So that's how they'll be there. Ms. Scott, if you're asking me why weren't they notified for the first marking period? It's just because of the quick turnaround. I'm just saying that that's what I've been told. Okay.
That's not my question, and that makes plenty of sense.
Right.
My question is pretty much a caveat from what Ms. Meadows is asking, is how will they be notified?
Right.
I know when we were speaking with Mr. Robinson and Mr. Brill about notification, it was 2 ways. One was, okay, parents are complaining that we're not getting notified, but then the teachers were also commenting that they tried, but either the number's no good or the information in Pupil Path is no good. So I went into Pupil Path to see if I could see what my contact information is, and it could just be user error. But how can a parent validate that the stuff that they put on the blue card was actually updated in Pupil Path? Because if I understand correctly, you guys refer to Pupil Path for contacting.
Right. So,
so how do the parents validate that, and how do they confirm the information is accurate?
Sure. So the first thing they can do is the first person to talk to would be their child's guidance counselor. Usually what I do, I'm not saying I'm all teachers, but what you're supposed to do is after you check Pupil Path, and if you notice that the numbers don't work, we get in touch with the guidance counselor to see if there's a number like in FileMaker, that then we'd be able to see, oh, this is the number to use, and then we cross correlate and then fix Pupil Path that way. That's how we're able to make the adjustments, because the Pupil Path mod that we pull from is we pull from their middle school information from like 7th grade and 8th grade. So the blue cards sometimes don't get updated like instantaneous to Pupil Path. So it's like they have to, like, every time they what's the word I'm thinking of, refresh Pupil Path and make it correlate with FileMaker, then it can actually start working. So but it's like a lot of that's the first, you know, glitch, I guess you would say Pupil Path does, is that they take it from the middle school Pupil Path first. So like if it was from a couple of years ago, that's where they making those first phone calls. Before then, as a teacher, would ask the guidance counselor for the FileMaker stuff.
Okay. And Ms. Attwood, in reference to your comment about noticing a few teachers use Pupil Path and 6 out of 9 wait until the day before, that's actually why we spoke with Mr. Robinson and Mr. Brill about stuff like that, because a lot of times, and it's understandable, the teachers wait to the last minute. They have their own marking that they keep, but they don't have the time to be able to go in every time to be able to post it. But then at the same time, that kind of hurts the student, and then the parent doesn't know what's going on. So that's why, as Mr. Capizzo mentioned, they're going to start in the second marking period, a 2-week notice prior to the end of the marking period. And hopefully that will work out. Of course, there's still some glitches, but compared to 3 years ago, I think the school has been making great strides on communication. It still needs some work, but you guys are doing a phenomenal job. As soon as we've mentioned it to you and provide proof that something's not working, you guys are very quick to rectify, because when we brought this up last week, it was 48-hour turnaround, I think. So Mr. Brill, I thank you so much for pushing on that. You were definitely a great asset on ensuring that that was worked on. So I appreciate that. Any other questions about?
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Thank you. Okay, and of course, we haven't heard anything confirmed on Regents. To this time frame, it's still a go for June Regents.
Yeah, and just to caveat, we have been starting up some Regents tutoring. So Living Environment right now is doing after school tutoring. I saw yesterday it started up Thursday for the algebra, for the Living Environment Regents. Ninth period is when they start the program. I think it goes ninth period into I think it goes from 2:35 to like 4 o'clock. So that is started. I have to double check and see what are the times. If there's another day besides Thursdays, it might be Tuesdays, Thursdays. I'm going to assume, but I'll double check with you guys. And then also the algebra program, the math department is doing the algebra Saturday program from 9 to 12. Starting March 5th, and it'll be 12 consecutive weeks leading up to the algebra Regents. We also have other regions that are opening up during the weekends as well, but they're not starting until after April break. So those are the U.S. History and Global Regents. Will be starting on Saturdays, as well as Living Environment and ELA as well.
And I'm sure this will be asked, so I'm going to jump ahead on this. How are families being notified of these after school programs? Is it just through MS Teams, or are notices being sent out to families that perhaps may need it in some form?
So the algebra program this week was handed out to all of the algebra students because we gave a mock Regents this week. So the program is only available for 30 seats because it's just one teacher doing it. So it's like first come, first serve, but and we are filling up on it. So that's the first thing. So teachers give it to the kids, and if the kids want to, can partake in the program, they do it, and they've been signing up. But as far as like everything else, it's been pretty much right now, it's just spread through the classes. Not really so much something that's being shared, like Mr. Bill sending an announcement over a phone blast or something. But I think that could be something where that can be sent out. Maybe we can try to get something together, Mr. Bill, where we send that out to families to let them know about that. So I'm just looking at a couple things. So the mock Regents can be shared, like the results of that can definitely be shared with parents. So one of the things this time around is that the mock Regents that we're doing for algebra, okay, there was also I believe a Regents done for global this week as well. The results for the algebra will be shown on their grades for the first marking period. So we'll have access, and we can actually share that information at parent-teacher conference as well. And then also, how do parents know the kids needed tutoring? That's directly from the teachers making sure that they notify it. The algebra Regents is open to pretty much anyone, and especially if it's someone that needs it. Right now, it's open for 9th grade because they're the ones that are going to be taking it. There isn't a lot of 10th graders and 11th graders who still need it, but it's open to those who need the Regents itself to graduate. Yeah, the parents, yeah, they should be notified. They need to be notified, definitely, Miss Sandor. I agree with you. But again, it would have to be, as we say, the teacher making the recommendation as well.
All right. I believe there's one more. Is the algebra regions tutoring for 11th graders, and will there be tutoring for trig?
I have to follow up with the math department on if there's going to be tutoring for trig. I have to double check and see that. So let me follow up for next meeting.
Actually, can you find out that information after break? I was gonna
Yes.
say next week, but I forgot you guys are on break. If you could find out by when you guys return, so this way we can send that information out, especially if it's
Gotcha.
gonna be a quick turnaround.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay, excellent. Uh,
No, the results, Miss Sander, will be posted on Pupil Path. It's actually going to be factored into their grade for the first market period.
all right, so we're gonna hold off on questions. Just do not put grades in there. Well, hopefully I agree 100%, Ms. Sander, on that, and I believe it probably won't happen for this marking period, but this is the kind of things that they're trying to correct starting April 1st with that 2-week notification. So we may have to just wait a little longer for them to start putting in those grades. All right. So moving on, and Mr. Capizzo is, oh, seniors, before we go on. Do you have that senior information? We do have some seniors on here, and I just want to make sure, I'm sorry, we have some parents that have senior students. Ooh, let me clarify that. I want to make sure they have that information with the graduation, prom, payments.
What specific questions do you want to know about this?
Just to reiterate, when prom is, when graduation is, that it's still going to be one graduation, and the cost, has that increased?
Cost hasn't changed.
Which is?
Don't recall. Sorry, I don't keep track of seniors. I'm with 9th grade. Sorry. I'll have to get you guys that. I know it's in the minutes from last meeting. Okay, I know that, and I know that the date for senior prom is still on, and that graduation is still it's still only one event. It's not broken up.
Got it.
I have the notes from the previous meeting where the dues are $180.
Thank you for being the savior.
They include the cap and gown, diploma case, sweatshirt, and pants, t-shirt, lanyard, SO card, water bottle, 2 trips, yearbook.
Awesome. All right. Oh, that's right. Thank you. Mr. Capizzo, and I'm not sure we ever got a final confirmation on that. The prom. Is it only for seniors and only for Abraham Lincoln High School seniors? The question for last month was, some of them have their significant others from other schools and or grades lower. Will they be able to attend? Or is that still unknown?
I believe it's still unknown. Let me I'm gonna shoot a message to Molina and see if I can find out that information.
Okay. All right, keep posting your questions in the chat. We're gonna move on. It is 7:43, and I am gonna try my best to get this done by 8 o'clock. So sitting on the screen for a couple of minutes has been the additional website links, some of that we discussed, some that we briefly mentioned. You have the school website, Abraham Lincoln High School, the school store for gym uniforms and logo. I know that's still being discussed, and hopefully we got Mr. Hoogenboom's ear, and they'll look to get that updated with some more information. Pupil Path, New York City Schools account, any COVID related information that you may need, screening, vaccination, supplement attendance is all here. You also have Instagram, which is great information for the students, and then Facebook, which really the PTA uses. All right, moving on. Here's the parent engagement school contact tree. I always advise that my bestest friend that has helped me out for the past 3 years. She's not my actual best friend, but I love the guidance counselors. They are phenomenal. If for whatever reason you are not able to get through to a teacher, for whatever reason there may be a conflict of communication, go to the guidance counselor. They will resolve and ensure that things are corrected, or maybe explain whatever miscommunication there is. If for whatever reason the guidance counselors are not able to assist, which have been very, very few and rare, then you will go to the administration, which would be any of the deans or vice principals, Mr. Robinson, Mr. O'Connor, Ms. Fontana, Ms. Fanning, Mr. Fanning, Ms. Rodriguez, Cardelio, and Baumfeld. If for whatever that doesn't work out, then you get the principal involved. But always know the principal has always said that he has open doors, so you can go to him directly. But I find if you work up the tree before you get to him, because the first thing he's going to do is work down the tree and find out why nobody resolved it. So before we bite the heads of everybody that helps our student, let's try to work up the tree, starting with teachers, then the guidance counselors, unless of course it's really something severe, then of course go straight to the principal. And of course we have Mr. Brill, who is the parent coordinator, who can resolve if almost anything. Thank goodness. She has been very, since the moment she started right before the holidays, she has been full blast assisting on everything. And I greatly appreciate the time that she's put in, as well as our Abraham Lincoln somebody, Mr. Capizzo. All right.
Okay, so I
moving
just want
on.
to let you have a follow-up.
Oh, wait, Mr. Capizzo, you're coming in very low.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So follow up to whoever's great. Seniors are allowed to bring one guest. Okay. It can be someone from Lincoln or an outsider. However, all must be vaccinated. Okay. That's the rule. Okay.
Can you define vaccinated as in 1 shot, 2 shots? Okay. We have time, things keep changing, but that might be something to look at.
Okay.
No, we don't need a response right now. Things will
Okay.
change between now and June, but that may be a question in the near future.
Yeah. So yeah, it does say the seniors are allowed to bring a +1 date to the prom, and it can be an outsider or an under 12th grader. So yeah.
Excellent. All right.
Correct. The guests will have to pay also. That's right.
All right, excellent. Next slide, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Capizzo. This is the DOE official calendar. Most of the information that is on here is also on the Abraham Lincoln High School school calendar. You can go to the next slide. Mr. Brill, can you speak on the school calendar? If you're still on.
Yeah, I'm still on.
Thank you. It's just 2 slides.
Okay. What do you want me to say?
No, that's fine.
Okay,
The first
so-
one up is February. So starting with
Okay.
today's meeting.
Okay, so on the 17th, we have today PTA meeting from 6 to 8. And then we have midwinter break from February 21st all the way to the 25th. March 2nd will be the practice SAT regents. I believe Mr. Hoogenboom said that students who are not taking the SATs will have a remote day.
Next slide.
March 15, we have an SLT meeting from 5:40 p.m. Oh, I'm sorry. March 3rd, it's not on the calendar. We have our Title I meeting. It will be from 6 to 7 p.m. Okay. In March 15, we have the SLT meeting, 5:40 p.m. Then March 16, we have evening parent-teacher conference. March 17th, we have the PTA meeting. And March 18, we have the afternoon parent-teacher conference.
I can say for the SLT meeting, though it is open to the public, we've coordinated because it's virtual. You do have to go and register and be approved by the chair of SLT, which is a member of the school. If you are allowed to come in, you have to provide questions ahead of time and only be allowed to speak if during the meeting if approved. Most of the time during the SLT meeting, people who come on are just listening in to see what's going on. Is that going to be the same for the Title I meeting, Mr. Brill?
I can ask Mr. Robinson and follow up on that because it's not like last time where it's trivia and everybody's participating and playing. For our next Title I meeting, we will have Miss Kelly from the college office talk about scholarships and summer programs for seniors. And then I'm hoping to have Mr. Hoffman on to discuss summer jobs or camps for kids from 15 to 21. So most likely everybody would be listening for Title I as well.
Which is going to be March 3rd.
Yes, March 3rd,
Okay.
6 p.m. And they would also have to register. The link is already on the newsletter. You can just fill out the questionnaire to register for Title I.
Okay. If you and Mr. Capizzo could go and post that link on here, if at all on the chat, if at all possible.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, next slide. All right, I'm gonna hold off for questions only because we have the final giveaway. So we're gonna go and do the final giveaway. And if anybody has questions after that, then by all means, definitely ask them away. But let's go and do the giveaway. And what is the final giveaway?
The final giveaway for February 2022 PTA meeting is the mystery box.
Another mystery box. Ooh, excellent. Thank you, Mr. Beal.
You're welcome. Also, I would like to remind everybody that our school surveys are up on our newsletter as well.
I saw with that school survey, there's some sort of giveaway on that. Is that correct?
Correct, yes. We will also fill out a form, create a form for parents to fill out and register for the giveaway.
Great. If we're ready for our last and final giveaway? All right, let's do it. Ready? Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ms. Gomez. Okay, I am going to be sending emails to every single winner. Congratulations again. Just give me 1 second. Hold up.
Reminder to all the winners, please do come and pick up the baskets as well at your earliest convenience.
Yep, I'll be sending each one of them an email. Now, remember, of course, the school is closed next week. So I don't think there'll be arrangements for you to go to the school to pick it up. So I will try, matter of fact, I will send out the emails first thing tonight, as soon as this meeting is over with, so that when Mr. Robinson comes in and sees all your responses, you'll be able to coordinate with him, if not by tomorrow afternoon, then definitely by the 28th when the school returns. If there's no further questions or concerns, thank you, everyone. I made it. It's before 8 o'clock. I did my very best. The next meeting will be March 17th. I ask you all to please come on and bear with us because it will be a good portion of the meeting will be about the bylaws. And we really need your input and approval in order to get the bylaws to go through, because without them, then we'll be a little hesitant. Then we'll have some issues, I'm sorry, to be able to go through with our election in May. All right, so March 17th will be our next meeting. Thank you very much, and everyone have a great evening.